Hey there, Woody here, going to be showing you a 1v1 on the map Metalopolis. It's between myself as the red Terran in what would have been the 8 o'clock position and my enemy, Trivorx, as the blue Protoss in the 6 o'clock position. However, it turns out that I'm going to be lifting off my command center and putting them into the middle of the map, so I'm now in the middle o'clock position, if that's what you would call it. So the SCVs go to miner, sell some gold. I'm going to send one SCV out to scout. I want to send him to the furthest point, really, or one of the furthest points rather than the nearest point, because I don't want to work a catching that SCV and then follow him around and then possibly scouting out my hidden expansion, or wherever you want to call it again. I haven't found a word for it yet. So proxy command center, does that really make sense? No. So I've got my 5 SCVs here ready to bring back gold ASAP. Right click them onto the command center and then they'll go back to mining minerals. So you want to get that economy boosting straight away, because I'm already behind a bit. So my enemy has now seen my SCV and I've now seen a bit of his base. I know where he is, so he's getting himself an early gateway. That's a 10 gateway, and I've made him paranoid. So it looks like he's going to be sending his probe around to scout now. Looks like he's a bit paranoid, and there's a good reason to be, because maybe he's suspecting that I've built a fast barracks, so maybe fast reapers or something like that, so he's expecting a proxy. So he's just scouting his immediate area, just looking for any barracks or anything like that. If he can't find any, then he's going to go on his normal path route that a probe would normally take after putting down a pylon, which is just scout the remaining positions that enemies could be in. So he's on his way. Meanwhile, I'm going to be getting myself a barracks as soon as I can, basically, whilst being able to still make SCVs, because as soon as that barracks goes up, I can then get myself an orbital command, which can then get mules. And mules on rich mineral fields are beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So that's what you want. You want them, yes. So this is what it's all about. I'll need to get this economy boosting, because obviously I'm so far behind at this point. Cybernetics core is going down straight after the gateway, so it means that he's probably going to be aiming to get himself stalkers, since he's got himself a simulator as well. Meanwhile, he's going to be building a pylon round about here, because he is suspicious of anything else that's coming through, so he needs to block off that ramp anyway. So the probe has now found out. He's got one last base to go through, I believe, this one. So here's a bit of advice for you. If you are scouting, sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but if you are scouting between the bases, maybe scout the middle first. Only really if you're against a Terran player though. Scout middle, go here. Then go here, scout middle, then go here. Just in case, because if he saw that a bit earlier, it would have helped him prepare a bit faster. So I'm going straight for Marauders here. Marauder coming out. I'm keeping my economy perfect here at the moment. I think I've done this really well so far. Minerals and gas to a minimum. As soon as I can build things, I will build them. So now he spotted it, and it's at this point, the 4-minute point, at least 4-minute game time, that we've actually hit a point where I'm about to start overtaking him in terms of income, even though I've got 14 harvesters to his 21. So before that, and that's thanks to the mules, so before that he was ahead on income, but as soon as he found out where I was, that's when I started overtaking. So it's from this point on, I'm going to have the advantage now. So he knows it. So he's going to put down lots of gateways and going to try and finish this early if he can. So yeah, I'm going to be building barracks whenever possible, while still being able to build marauders and SCVs. It's all about that. I've also blocked off these bits because this is his easiest access point, so I want to make it as hard as possible. And meanwhile, I'm also going to block off this bit in case he tries to come from behind. So that you put down a supply depot here, you've got your barracks here. When you build an add-on there, you're going to have a complete blockade there. So his only real access point here is the furthest point, essentially. And it's not actually going to be that difficult for him, because he's been very sneaky here, and he's put down a pylon, which is really nice work there, because that means he's going to be able to warp in units as soon as that cybernetics core has finished its warp gate research. All these gateways are going to be done in the same time that that warp gate gets done, so he's actually timed this very well. Getting himself a Stargate, as you notice, so maybe he's assuming that this attack isn't going to go too well, or some sort of backup. Since he's got the 2 assimilators, he should be able to afford void rays on top of zealots and whatever units he may want to get. So it looks like he might be starting to... It looks like he's probably going to warp in some units at this point. I'm starting to block this bit as well, trying to make it as difficult as possible for him, almost like a tower defense or something like that, for his units to try and get through to my core workers, because I want to keep them safe, keep the economy pumping. So he's brought in these zealots. I left my marauders here just to see if any units are going to be coming through. So the marauders are aplenty, and this is in a real good position, because zealots do not do well versus marauders, especially when you've got an insane choke point like this. This is really bad news for him. He's essentially going to lose a lot of his army. I'm going to lose nothing here. got more harvesters, more income coming. Got a higher army count now at this point, and it's going to keep on pumping because I'm going to carry on making barracks whenever I can. All of his units are now down. I don't think he's going to be warping any more units because he cannot take that on. He might warp in the odd cell or two. He could do that essentially and try and sneak in and take in some workers, but I can carry on building. All of my units are honestly going to deal with that, no problem. So now's the best time to push with the Marauders. He's in a real panic here. His first Void Ray looks like it's starting to come out very soon, but is it going to be enough? That's the question. Force Field is very, very good here. That was a good move there. Denies me access, but I do decide to scan a suite so I can destroy anything that I can possibly see with my Marauders with their huge range. So whilst that was a good move in his point, I did have a counterpart by saving up energy deliberately for a scanner sweep should such an event occur. So he's starting to warp in units desperately here. He's got too many minerals, not got enough. He's got his Void Ray. I can't do anything about that Void Ray. It's going to charge up and start doing some awesome damage against the Marauders soon. But is it going to be enough? I know that I've got to try and take this Nexus down, because if I can take that down, I'm going to slow down his economy hugely. And I'm constantly pumping out units here, so I'm totally aware of this Void Ray now. So this gives me lots of time to repair and start making Marines at my base. As you can see, the Nexus has just gone down. I've only got a few Marauders left out of what was quite a lot, to be honest. So that Void Ray by itself has dealt with them very nicely, but unfortunately he's at a standstill at this point. He's down pylon, so he can't. His food supply caps. He hasn't even got minerals to make stuff. Build another Void Ray. It's up to him to basically make as good a use as that Void Ray and the other Void Ray that's about to come out as best as he can. But I'm well aware of this, obviously, so I've built myself an engineering bay whilst I was attacking, so I can get myself lots of missile turrets up, make it really difficult for him to put pressure on me, because Marines are great, and it's really good that Terran have some sort of tier 1 anti-air ability, but they don't tend to do too well against Void Rays, unless you can really get underneath them with Stimpack or something like that, or totally outnumber them with Marines. Otherwise, he can pick up Marines quite quickly. So he's trying to take out this missile turret. I was trying to build it with SCVs, or keep bringing in SCVs whilst I try to kill the SCVs. Constantly got to keep this missile turret up. This is really horrible position for him. He's now lost a Void Ray. He can't build anything else. He's got this one Void Ray left. I'm starting to spam out Marines. I'm going to put on 2 reactors on those barracks because they're far away, so it makes it harder for him to reach that. Meanwhile, the Marines are going to come out of my tech labs. They won't come out very fast, but they'll be able to easily deal with this Void Ray. So he's going to have to back off here and wait for his shields to regen. That's enough Marines to easily take on the Void Ray. You couldn't pick that off even with a full beam, rather. So he's now got his Nexus back up, but I'm not going to take any jip. I know that he's barely got any units. I've also built myself some Marauders to deal with any siege, such as sort of buildings, try and take down the buildings, pylons, etc. fast, because I don't want just Marines, because I know I've got enough Marines to handle that one Void Ray. I know in my head what situation he has. I don't need map hack to know how bad he is in terms of economy and all of that. So we're looking at a bad situation for him, basically. I've got a lot of Marines, a lot of Marauders approaching his base. Yeah, I'll be able to slice up a few Marines, but that's what the Marauders are there for, to deal with any units that might come out of that gateway, basically. Because Marauders just slice through gateway units. He's in a real horrible situation here. He's only got the one Void Ray. I don't give a crap about that when I've got so many missile turrets and constant Marines pumping out of my reactors. So he's going to lose all of his probes here by the looks of it, and then his main coming shortly afterwards. So he's in a horrible situation here, and the Terran lift-off strategy is so powerful. I actually built an expansion here, but I decided to cancel it because I saw the Void Rays, and I wasn't too sure about it, to be honest. It could have worked, I don't know, but I took the choice to cancel it and build more barracks and build more Marines just to make sure that I wouldn't die. Everything's now powered down due to no pylons being up, and I decided to get myself an expansion at some point earlier at the top bit, because that's the furthest point away from him. It's going to be really, really hard to even scout that, let alone get to it. So obviously I have to, because you can see the minerals are starting to go down here, because I've got a lot of SCVs on it, and that's what you have to do. You have to be careful if you do take the middle point and the game does go on somewhat long, then make sure you do get yourself another expansion, because these gold minerals will not last as long as the normal blue minerals that are in your main. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, rate and comment. This has been WTii. Bye for now.